let's talk about how the carbon cycle influences climate change. We're going to start with putting up the four pools of carbon, right? So this is your soil, your rocks, your earth. That's one pool. We have organisms, that's another pool, which is going to be your plants and animals, okay? And then we have the two other, we have our atmosphere, and we have water. Okay, so this is the one we're mainly concerned about, right? If we have carbon in the atmosphere, we end up with, I should say atmosphere, not atmosphere. If we have more carbon in the atmosphere, we're going to end up with the greenhouse effect, and that's going to warm things. So how do we usually have a balance where carbon is shifting in between these different pools, right? There's different fluxes that are taking them in between each of the pools and vice versa, right? So what we're ending up with is we're increasing the values of some of the pools, the amount of carbon in some of the pools at the expense of other pools. So let's talk about some of the things that lead to this. So one of the things is the burning of fossil fuels. So that we are taking it from the soil, which used to be organisms, right? So we have organisms that have decomposed into the soil, and we're pulling them up as fuel, and we're doing heavy burning of those into the atmosphere. So we are decreasing this one, organisms is going down, and soil carbon deposits are going down at the expense of the atmosphere going up. The other thing we are often doing is directly from organisms to atmosphere. So this is where we're cutting down forests and either using them as fuel products or using them to build things. So again, we're lowering the organism count to increase the atmospheric count, right? And then one of the other things that we actually see happen is as we get more CO2 into the atmosphere and the atmosphere warms, then the water warms. And as water warms, its capacity to hold CO2 actually goes down. And that's you've seen like with warm pop, right? Pop's got CO2 diffused into it. If you warm it up, the CO2 comes out and then it becomes flat. So again, we are getting direct diffusion from the water to the atmosphere. So our water deposits are going down and the atmosphere is going up as the temperature increases. And so what we need is, potential solutions is to shift things back. So getting it back into the water requires that the water is cooler, and it's just a natural process we can't do. We can't take it from, we can take it from the atmosphere to organisms, right? And that's done directly by plant life. So the more plant life we have, the more we're bringing it from the atmosphere back into organisms. And we also do some genetic engineering to try to make organisms more efficient at pulling CO2 out of the air, plants more efficient. We can't really take it from the atmosphere to the rocks in any efficient way that we've come up with. So that's how it's affecting climate change.